Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, where we post daily Houston Rockets content. If that's something you enjoy and you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So, we have a tweet here. It is from James L. Edwards III, and here it is. Let's just get right into it. Sources have maintained the stance that Houston's aggression has never wavered, and if the opportunity presents itself, they will make a move. It's just a matter of figuring out what that move is. The front office is always looking. Their cap isn't nearly as clean as Detroit's right now because of John Wall and his situation, but once that's solved, either with a buyout or just a $47 million staring contest for the year, it's hunting season. So I found this very fascinating. I made a video 2 days ago talking about Houston possibly, how they should be a little bit, I don't know if passive is the right word, but they should be a little bit cautious. They should just be a little careful when looking into trades for like Eric Gordon or Christian Wood, just because you want to remain flexible. So I'm very curious. I am very, very curious. Had the Houston Rockets not had John Wall and his $47 million contract, I'm very curious if they would actually be making moves in free agency. The way I view Houston right now is we have so much young talent. It almost gets me thinking, like, are they not going to extend Jae'Sean Tate? I'm kind of actually surprised that we don't have any Jae'Sean Tate extension talks. Like, there's been none of that at any point, actually, all season, or at any point. I guess it's been a brief off season, but still, same thing applies. So it gets me thinking, what if the Rockets didn't have John Wall? Would they be making some moves? And so I'm looking at the 2022 NBA free agency tracker, and I'm like, most of these dudes are old or they're about to get overpaid. They don't make sense with Houston. Like Colin Sexton doesn't make sense with Houston. You're going to have to pay him a little baggy, at least like $20 million. And Houston, especially at that guard position, they don't need it. And then you've got guys like JaVale McGee, Robin Lopez. If we got Tice last year, realized how much of an L that was, and traded him before the season was up, I have a hard time imagining Houston wants to make any moves in free agency right now. If you look up the free agents for next season, bro, I'm telling you, it is unreal. It's when you get James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook. There are so many free agents next season. It is unreal. So I really hope Houston doesn't make a move. If Houston were to make a move, I'm just aiming for it to be something extremely low-key. I'm aiming for it to be extremely low-key. So we have some potential guys that the Rockets could sign in this offseason. But once again, dude, I would be very, very, very hesitant with it. And I actually probably wouldn't sign any of these players except for maybe the first guy. Let's start with Jalen Brown. Because Jalen Brown. Yes, the Houston Rockets signing Jalen Brown. Yes. No, we're talking Jalen Smith, because I know I look back at it last year, and I keep thinking, if only Phoenix wasn't so stupid. If Phoenix wasn't so goddamn stupid, the Houston Rockets could have Jalen Smith on their team. And the reason being is this. The Phoenix Suns got rid of a first-round draft pick for Landry Shamet. A first-round draft pick for Landry Shamet. What in heavens to Betsy are you doing if you're giving up a first-round pick for Landry Shamet? That clearly didn't work. So had the Phoenix Suns not given up a first-round pick, once again, for Landry Shamet, maybe they would have given up a first-round draft pick for Eric Gordon, and maybe you had to sweeten the deal with Jae'Sean Tate. But to get Jalen Smith, actually, we would kind of need a verbal, I guess you would kind of ideally want to re-sign him. And if he's just an unrestricted free agent right now, it's what's the point in even trading for him? So yeah, we definitely would have needed a first-round pick and Jalen Smith from the Phoenix Suns to make that happen. But he will be a free agent this year. And so Jalen Smith, to me, is a guy with very high upside. I don't really see too much risk attached. If Christian Wood gets traded, then I think the likelihood of this happening makes even more sense, because, or the possibility of this happening. We have Garuba. Both of those two guys are pretty versatile. I think ideally we want to see Sengun at the 4 position, like, you know, whether it's next year or years down the road. I think Sengun would be a very nice kind of, if he can develop a 3-point shot, having him as like a stretch 4, just super skilled offensive guy, I think that would ideally be what I'm looking for. But at this current point in time, if you're going to be running Sengun off of the bench, Christian Wood starting, so it kind of gets me to the original point. Like, there's so many cooks in the kitchen. I'm trying to think, like, if you trade, let's say we traded Christian Wood, it would be probably Paolo Banchero starting at the 4, and then at the 5 you'd probably be starting Sengun. And then on the bench you'd be able to have Jalen Smith and Usman Garuba as your backup big men. So that kind of makes sense. That does make a little bit sense. But you see what I'm saying, especially with the guards, man. It's like, I'll look at some of these guys like Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown's a really interesting player because he's so versatile on defense. So, and he can knock down a 3. So, like, long term, he would be solid for Houston. But I have a hard time imagining we'd actually be interested in Bruce Brown. Kevin Knox, another one of those guys. He's a restricted free agent, but, you know, he hasn't really been given a shot in his NBA career. He has a bunch of flaws in his game, but like I said, he hasn't really been given a full shot, full opportunity in the NBA. Maybe Houston views a guy like Kevin Knox and they're like, all right, we want to give you some run. Maybe they feel the same way about Troy Brown Jr. He played with the Chicago Bulls last year. He can shoot some threes, play some defense, but I think it's the wrong position. The issue is just age. Like, even enticing players like Lonnie Walker. You know, Lonnie Walker on Houston would be kind of cool, but we have so many goddamn guards. Like, we have so many freaking guards as it is. Where do you even find the time? And then you start getting into LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin. That's like literally all those players either played for the Nets or the Lakers. Like, that gives you a little bit of a taste of just how doggy this is. Dwayne Dedmon, Andre Drummond, Hassan Whiteside. I'm all set on all of those names. Ben McLemore, Tony Snell, Otto Porter. I'm all set. Bobo would be interesting. I would say Bobo would be interesting, but he's a restricted free agent. We'll see the Bobo situation, but I still like highly doubt that the Houston Rockets are interested in him. Bro, that's honestly it. Like, Isaiah Hartenstein, I've seen some stuff on Twitter for the Rockets getting him again. I just don't really think that happens. Isaac Bonga's a guy I would probably take a risk on. He's still 22 years old. Some way, somehow, how actually is Isaac Bonga 22 years old? How is he 22, bro? That's it? Isaac Bonga's only 22? Isaac Bonga's a guy who can't shoot threes, but I would give him he can play some great defense. I would definitely, like, be interested or down to sign him to some type of contract where he's playing with either our summer league or preseason summer league team. I think would be kind of interesting. See if he can make the roster. Mitchell Robinson is a guy the Houston Rockets have like reportedly been rumored to be interested in. I have a hard time imagining we're forking up that cash to get Mitchell Robinson, and in fact, I think they're better off waiting. I think they're better off holding on that. Just in general, like Claxton even, I think in general the Rockets are better off waiting than signing any of these players, but there's just a taste of some of the guys they might be interested in. Wenyen Gabriel, like any guy that makes like a little bit of sense, kind of, once you say it out loud, it's like, well, not really. Why would they? They're not really. So I'm very curious if you guys have anybody you think the Houston Rockets should sign, or anybody you think the Rockets are going to be interested in free agency. Go ahead, comment that down below. But as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys